I really hope that this message, sometimes some messages cause individuals to look retrospectively at our lives. We look back at what we've done or what we have not done. And most oftentimes, Phoenix, that happens at the beginning of the year. We began to reflect on our lives to see in the previous year perhaps what we have not done, Tyrone, or what we need to do better, Carmelita. And God wants us to discover some things about ourselves. And let me throw this in parenthetically. So oftentimes we look at other people's proclivities and their flaws and their lives and see where others fall short. But I want to recommend to us today that we stop looking at the beam in our brother's eye and look at the tree stump in our own eye. Because so many of us have missed the mark, and we want the Lord to help us. You don't have to stand, but the ushers, you may retire that you can read with us out of the book of Colossians chapter 1, verse number 16. Colossians, the message is written to the church at Colossae. Everybody say Colossae. However, the message is not just for the church at Colossae. It is for those of us who are part of the New Testament church and experience God right now. I want you to get this quote, and I want you to internalize it, although this is not a theologian. Pablo Picasso, one of the greatest, says that the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give that gift away. Picasso says that the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. Colossians 1:16 says, for in him, reading from the New International Version, for in him all things were created, things in heaven and things on earth, things visible and invisible, whether they are thrones or powers. Some of you ought to shout right there. That means Trump can't run nothing. Y'all with me? Or rulers or authority. Here is the key. All things have been created by him and for him. As we enter this period of Stewardship Institute, I want to bring this lesson to us this morning. All things were created for him and by him. I just want you to help me, and we help each other this morning to discover the answer. Why am I here? Why am I here? Why are you here? That's the question this morning. So many people spend their lives spinning their wheels. We go from job to job. We go from place to place, trying to discover our purpose in life, trying to discover the reason that God has brought us here. Martin King says, we are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is actually today. He says, we are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. This unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. There is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. And my brothers and my sisters, it's so true that so many of us waste our time trying to figure out a time to capitalize on time. Some of us waste our time trying to figure out a time to capitalize on time. And God is saying, you're taking too much time. When I don't work in time, I work in eternity. I work when I get ready to move. So you're asking, why don't I have the job I want? Why don't I have the house I want? Why don't I have the car I want? Why don't I have the spouse I want? Why don't I have the credit score I want? Why don't I have the savings I want? Why don't I have what I want? Sometimes we work in what we call chronos. Everybody say chronos. That is chronological order. We think that because we are 21, we are supposed to have graduated from college and have a 4-year degree. But there is something called kairos. Everybody say kairos. That's God's appointed time. That means that it may not happen at 21, but when it's your time to get your degree, God will bless you to get what is for you. You may feel like it's my time to be right here in life. And God is saying it's not your time. Your time is when I say it's your time. And here is this point. Let me say this. When you try to force God's hand to bless your life, it backfires in your face. Are y'all in the house with me? Sometimes we can think or figure that God should be blessing me right now, right here. I should have this right now. And God is saying, if I give it to you right now, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Come on, help me real quick. Some of you saying, Lord, you walking around, people, I'm walking around the house. I'm laying my hands on this house. I'm asking the Lord to give me this house. Why you want a house and you don't keep your apartment clean? Hello, somebody. Be faithful over the little things. Y'all ain't talking back to me. So God can bless you with the much. I'm walking. I want the Lord to bless me in 2018 with this new car. This is my car. I'm claiming it. This is the words we use because we know church lingo real good. I'm declaring and decreeing it's mine. No, it ain't yours if you don't get your credit right. It ain't yours if you don't pay your bill. They will repossess your stuff. If you come talking about I'm declaring and decreeing, you can declare and decree it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. Because you ain't paid. You didn't pay. That's what it's about. You see, you can have anything. Psalm 24, write it down. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. But too many people are counting on the Holy Ghost to do what you won't do. If you want a job, fill out the application. If you want the job, spruce up your resume. And it's not a for sure fact that you're going to get that job, but it is a for sure fact that you're going to get the one God has for you. And I need to tell somebody who's watching, I need to tell somebody who's sitting here, you may not be able, listen, here's what God does. He qualifies the unqualified. You may not be qualified to get what God has for you, but if God lays it up for you, the devil in hell can't take it from you. They may have said you can't have a child. You're not supposed to have a child. Up pops a baby. God knows what he's doing. They may have said you're too sick to go to work, and then you find health in your body and start doing what God has for you to do. And I know I'm supposed to be teaching you, but this is a preachable moment. I need some people who don't mind testifying that God has qualified me for some stuff and for some circumstances that I was unqualified for in life, and God blessed me in spite of my shallow qualifications. He did it for me. I didn't deserve it. I didn't do anything to earn it, but God just made a way. That's the way he works. He doesn't work within the perimeters of what we believe ought to happen. That's why folk get healed that's really sick. That's why they'll tell you you're supposed to live 6 months and you live 12 months. Hello, somebody. Because my life is not in a man's hand. I wish I had some witnesses in here. My life is not in anybody's. My life is in the hands of the man who stilled the waters. My life is in the hands of the man who calmed the sea. My life is in the hands of the man from Galilee. I will not trust in horses. I will not trust in chariots. But I will trust in the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. Ecological catastrophe, the new Jim Crow, the killing of black people by black people, lynching of black people by those who are to protect and serve without justice or actions of comfort for those left behind. The names that have been forgotten, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, those names, those places, those marches in Ferguson have been forgotten. But I've come to tell you a time, or the time to act, is the fierce urgency of right now. You dream your dreams. You set your goals. You have great visions. Because as you learn from these names, they can be snuffed out in a minute. I sat here this morning and Kevin walked up to me and said I was here for the service. I said, what service? And he handed me a program. How old was Steph? 40, in her 40s, 49 years old, of a young girl who had visited this church. Houston Tillerson, I didn't even know she had passed. Delta Sigma Theta. I read this program and Steph is gone. Some of you are trying to figure out when I'm going. You don't have time to figure out when. The only time we have control over is right now. He says to the church at Colossae, you were created for his purpose. You were created by him. The moral fiber of our land has been compromised with the ineptness of a system laden with classism and racism. And we as a people have to rise up and decide that we must take control over our now. You were created, uniquely designed, built with your mama and your daddy, or your mother and your father, just the way you are. Mean, God can use it. I'm a witness. A little rough, God could use it. A bad past, God can use it. Some of y'all don't know when to shout. An imperfect past, God can use you. You don't have it all together, God can. I'm talking to somebody in here. I don't care what you've been told in life, I never shall forget. And I see Sister Mundine, my 8th grade teacher, from time to time. And I wasn't the best in class. Oh, mother, I didn't need that. Amen. I went to ISS. I used to fight in school. Boy, let me have gym. I'd already promised somebody a whooping. I couldn't wait. What was bad was that my mother was in the school system. So all the folks knew her, Brother Owens. They knew how to get me. And unfortunately, she had given permission. God forgive some of you parents. Don't touch my child. No, y'all got to quit that. She had given permission to the whole church and the school system to do whatever it took, Brother Tappan, to get me correct. She used to ask people who would tell me, he did this. She said, why are you telling me? Why didn't you handle your business? And she was very direct without a smile when she said it. And I'd look up like, you really going to let these people do that? But I didn't say it. Amen. But I had an 8th grade teacher who said in 10 years, you either be in jail or dead. You've got to watch who you let speak into your life. I don't want no negative anybody speaking into my life. Because 10 years came, I was at Houston-Tillerson. I had finished school in 2.5 years and played around the other because I had finished everything early. And every time I thought about this math teacher, I thought about it and I saw her and I would tell her, look at me now. And I wasn't bragging on me, but I was bragging on God's keeping power, bragging on God's grace. Baptiste, because see, I'm in Beaumont. I'm not supposed to make it. A few years after that 18, because however old I was, at 21, the youngest man to run for city council in that same city. And I asked that same teacher, go vote for me. What I'm trying to tell you is where you have been does not have to dictate where you go. Oh, come on, somebody should have celebrated that. Because if walls could talk, we've been some bad places. Oh, y'all gonna leave me out here by myself? Help me, preachers. We've been some bad places. We've done some bad things. Oh, but the grace of God. Anybody know anything about God's grace? Because I had purpose in life. I may have been bad. I may have been in ISS. I may have been some places and done some things I had no business doing. But Sandy, God had laid his hands on me. I had a purpose. I may not have grown up with the best people. They may have made bad choices, but God had a hedge. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You can be in the wrong crowd and God will protect you because you've got purpose. You've got a job. You've got an assignment. You've got something that God has uniquely given to you that only you can do. Yell, I've got purpose. Say it again, I've got purpose. I want you to say it louder because I want you to know the devil is listening to you this morning. He's trying to make you feel depressed and less than, but you need to tell the devil, I got purpose. God didn't let you live this life just to be here. There's a meaning to your life. I don't care whether that baby came here out of wedlock. That baby got purpose. I just messed somebody up because you've been judging somebody for years based off of what? Hello, somebody. That child has. God will allow what he hates to save what he loves. Tweet it, Facebook it, Snapchat it. And in your purpose-driven life, you must encounter haters. And I like to say it all the time, if you ain't gifted, you ain't hated on. But if folks hating on you, just say, I'm gifted. God has invested a treasure in you that Satan does not want Nicole to see come out of you. God has placed something uniquely in each of us. So whatever you are. Well, I had some points. I'm trying to get to them. 3 things. First, you must redefine who you are. Redefine who you are. We have allowed society, people, places, things, circumstances, and situations to define us. Redefine yourself. Reinvent yourself. Amen. I'm hurting right now because I was working out the other day. I called my trainer, and my trainer said, yeah, you're supposed to hurt, Pastor. I said, man, what you mean? I said, I don't think I'm supposed to be hurting like this. Brother Owens was here the other day when I was working out. I walked out, I said, Brother Owens, this man trying to kill me. Brother Owens said, huh? But when I told him that, he asked me a question. He said, Pastor, are your clothes getting slim? I said, yeah. Is your health getting better? I said, yeah. I said, get off the phone, man. You're talking too much now. What he was trying to tell me is that you've got to go through some things to get to your desired point. And if you're going to go through those things, hear me now, there are going to be some uncomfortable moments along the way as you redefine who you are. I've discovered as much as I like oxtails, pork chops, and fried chicken. I love it, man. And listen, somebody say, are you going to be vegan? No. If you want to, that's cool. Be blessed. Amen. Well, you're not supposed to eat this. I read in my word, everything God made is clean because he cleaned it. It's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. You can overindulge in chicken. I only eat roughage. You can overindulge in roughage. Y'all don't want to hear that this morning. Well, I eat turkey ground meat. Good for you. I want ground beef. Hello, somebody. I just don't want as much as I used to want. I'm just talking about y'all get me? Redefining. Because, I also had to make another decision. My mother came into town, and she was so nice. She had cooked this nice soup. I ate a little of the soup, and I said, you want a hamburger? And she said, Reverend, there's soup in there. In other words, you're trying to tell me you better eat what I cooked. But you know what? I'm the only child, so I kept working on her. I said, Mama, you said you were going to make some chili too, huh? She said, do you want me to wash or do you want me to do the chili? Next thing you know, she made the chili. But listen, here's a decision I want all of you to understand. If there was food in the house, redefine your life. Why you want to go buy something when it's something already there? I'm messing with people because I see you hunching your neighbor. Hello. Quit spending money unnecessarily. You want to go out to eat and you got food in your house? Cook. That's why I call all of y'all and ask what y'all cook. Amen. If you can cook. Amen. If that ain't your ministry, you better leave it alone and go to Lufus. Redefine who you are. Secondly, redesign your road to success. See, you think that you're supposed to just go straight 59 to the Galleria. And sometimes God has you at these road closed. y'all watching me and everybody's here, y'all pray for your pastor. Because the other day I was on 288. I was on the phone with you, Reverend Allen. Amen. I don't want you to bear witness to my words. Amen. But as I looked at that traffic, oh, man. Oh, Sister Rhonda. Oh. Then there was a car that jumped in my way, and I said, oh, brother. Oh. Y'all can interpret that all day long. And finally, the man got out of the way. And then I called a dry cleaner because it was like 10 minutes to 5. They closed at 5. I said, because I got to 2234 and I was ready to turn, and there was a police blocking. Street closed. Y'all getting my point? I said, oh. Y'all interpret that the way you know me, amen. So I called the cleaners. I said, hey, I want to get my things out the cleaners. They said, we close promptly at 5 o'clock. I said, oh, amen. I said, brother, you don't want me to break that glass, do you? I need my clothes. He said, sir, we close promptly at 5 o'clock. Oh, Jesus. Oh, me Lord. So I started praying, y'all. And when you're too foolish to do what's right, God will do it for you. Unfortunately, I had to drive all the way around, come up 518. Then I had to think. I can't go that way. Turn off. You got to think along your path. You want God to do it for you. Do it, God. Do it, Jesus. Just do it, do it, do it, do it. Who are you talking to? I'm almost done. And so I went down the path, and you know how God will fix it for you? God fixed it for me. Alexis, when I got to the window, the man said, Dr. Malone, here are your clothes. What could I do? I couldn't even get upset. The people knew me. They knew my name, and they had my clothes ready. When God redesigns you and you've been redefined and your road to success involves and he's illuminated it, it has him at the forefront, God will fix it where the people you thought was plotting against you are really the ones who are making a way for you. They're getting your stuff together for you. They're getting ready to help you. They're getting ready to bless you. So you've got to watch who you mistreat on your job, in your family, in your circle, wherever you are, because God might use the same people you think mean you no good to bless you, because God specializes in changing the hearts of men. Do I have anybody here who said, yes, I was set up to be ticked off at you. I wanted to be mad at you. I wanted to cuss you out. But the more and more, the closer and closer I got, God just kept working on me, and he changed your heart, which made me change my heart. Redefine and redesign your life. Finally, I'm created for him, by him, for his purpose. Jermaine, lastly, you have to realign. You got to realign. You can't tell your big dreams to small people. Everybody's not prepared to hear what God has for you. And don't be fooled by thinking that everybody who's smiling is happy for your success. Some people hear you say what God has blessed you with, and this really trips me out. People get mad. Oh, they ain't going to last, no. And watch this. You hear it not from people who are far. It's people who are right in your circle. That's why I tell people I don't have a circle. I got a line. Are you with me? And if you can't fit on that line, you just can't fit. Because the circle gives too much room for negativity. Are you with me? And listen, two things. When you realign yourself, you don't need people in your circle reminding you of what you used to do, where you used to go, how you used to be. If you got to remind me of that, please, get out. I need people who will say, Adrian, you can do it. Who will say, hey, you can win. Who will say, hey, Mother Gentry, you gonna make it. I need people who are willing to speak positivity into my life. If you don't want to speak positively, I don't need to talk to you. Hello, somebody. And some of you are scared to realign yourself because people know all your business. It's all right. Tell them, do what you want to do with that, because God is creating some new business for me. I'm getting me some new people in my circle. I'm getting me some people on my line, rather, who's going to help me to make it, who's going to tell me I can win, who's going to encourage me when I'm down and out. I don't want to talk to you and feel worse than I did when I got on the telephone. I want to be encouraged. But can I tell you something? If nobody else encourages you, you've got to learn how to encourage yourself. You've got to tell yourself, self, you can make it. Self, you can win. Self, you can run on. Self, you can be whatever God says you are. Self, you got to learn how to talk to yourself and tell yourself that you are a child of the King. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Young people, if you're listening to me, you got to tell yourself, that's right. I may not have passed the test this time, but I'm going back to take the test. Because Satan, you thought you had me, but I've studied more. I've gained more knowledge. Help me, somebody. I've learned some things. I know what y'all said, but I'm not listening to what you say. The legislators say, legislate your way. The philosophers say, think your way. Satan says there is no way. But Jesus said, I feel like hollering right there. I am the way. Anybody know he's the way? Don't fool me now. Anybody know he's the way? Anybody know when you can't find your way out, God won't have to find the way. He just makes a way. He just is the way. He just creates the way. Don't be worrying about tomorrow. You've been created for him. Tomorrow will take care of itself. I know you've heard it like me. I've seen the lightning flash. I've heard the thunder roar. I felt sin breakers dashing, trying to conquer my soul. But I heard. That's what the old preacher, Dr. Ben Hooks, I can hear him say, I heard the voice of Jesus telling me, fight on. He promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. Sister Mundine, the songwriter, got happy right there and said, no, never alone. He promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. You got to redefine, redesign, and realign. I'm going to leave you right here. I said it the other day. Maya Angelou said, if you can't change the way things are, change the way you see them. You don't have to look at it as all bad. It's about your mindset. It's about what you see. Man is leaving his home because it's on fire. He has 2 children. He has an 18-month-old and he has a 4-year-old. His wife is at work and the house is on fire. He grabs the child in his hands and has the 4-year-old hanging on his arm. He's running to the door, but halfway to the door, the child drops his teddy bear. Runs back in the house to pick up his teddy bear. The father did not realize he was missing the child until he had gotten outside of the house. The boy was in the window, though, still alive. And he heard the voice. Said, Junior, jump. Junior yelled back, I can't see you. Daddy said, Junior, jump. Dad, is too much smoke. Junior, jump. John, by this time, Junior was nervous and cried. His daddy, Ed Ham, said, jump, Junior. Junior said, I told you I can't see you. Daddy said, you can't see me, but I can see you. When Junior jumped, he jumped right in the arms of his father. And that's all I want to tell somebody this morning. It may be dark in your life. It may be smoky in your life. It may be dreary in your life. But quit standing on the ledge. Jump, Junior, jump. Anybody know God's got you? Anybody know God will protect you? He's got the whole world in his hand. Jump, Junior. Jump. Come on, deacons. Why are you here? Fulfill your God-given purpose. Spirit and the bride says, come.
Yeah.
Reverend Keenan Scott Miller is coming now to give to us the invitation. Don't know Jesus, don't have a church home. Jump, Junior, jump. We're all inviting you. Please come.